the German Tiger. Even the name sounds terrifying. It was a monster of steel that could kill from a mile away, striking fear into Allied soldiers. And what did the Americans bring to fight it? The M4 Sherman, a tank that got the grim nickname Ronson because soldiers said it lit up on the first strike. By all accounts, it should have been a rolling coffin. But it wasn't. The humble Sherman didn't just survive, it dominated. How did this underdog tank, outgunned in any duel, end up winning World War II? First, that fiery nickname. Ronson has haunted the Sherman's legacy for decades, but the data tells a different story. Post-war analysis showed tanks burned not from gasoline, but from their own ammunition exploding. This plagued all tanks, not just Shermans. Early models did have a terrifying 60 to 80% burn rate when penetrated. But American engineers found a brilliant solution. Wet storage. New Shermans rolled out with ammo racks surrounded by water and glycerin. If hit, the liquid doused fires, buying crews precious seconds. The burn rate plummeted to 15%. The death trap was a myth. But survival isn't victory. The real story lies in revolutionary thinking about war itself. Germany built the Tiger, a complex masterpiece of engineering. Only 1,350 were made. The Americans? They produced 49,000 Shermans. For every Tiger that rolled off assembly lines, dozens of Shermans were already fighting. This wasn't just throwing numbers at the problem. The Sherman was designed for mass production using automobile industry expertise. While Tiger crews waited weeks for special parts, Shermans were running again in hours with scavenged components. The Germans built a tank for the perfect duel. Americans built a tank to win a global war. American doctrine was completely different. Germans focused on tank versus tank combat. The U.S. Army saw tanks as one piece of a larger machine. The Sherman's job wasn't hunting Tigers, that was for specialized tank destroyers. Shermans supported infantry, smashing bunkers and machine gun nests. When they did encounter German armor, they didn't duel. 4 Shermans would suppress with smoke and explosives, while the 5th flanked for side shots where armor was thinner. Meanwhile, artillery coordinators called in barrages and aircraft dropped bombs. German tanks weren't fighting one Sherman. They faced an entire system. The Sherman constantly evolved. The original 75mm gun struggled against Tiger armor, so Americans introduced the 76mm EZ-8. British engineers went further, cramming their 17-pounder gun into Sherman turrets, creating the Firefly, a true Tiger killer. The chassis spawned dozens of variants: swimming tanks for D-Day, flail tanks for minefields, recovery vehicles for damaged comrades. Tank crews proved equally adaptable. The African-American 761st Tank Battalion welded extra armor from destroyed vehicles and mastered smoke tactics, fighting for 183 consecutive days. They showed how skilled crews could maximize the Sherman's potential. The Sherman won because the fight was never tank versus tank. It was philosophy versus philosophy. Germans built thousands of exquisite duelists. Americans built 50,000 reliable, adaptable machines backed by revolutionary combined arms doctrine. They didn't build for the duel, they built for global war. The Sherman wasn't a failure that got lucky. It was a triumph of thinking differently. It may not have been the war's best tank, but it was, without question, the tank that won the war.